Alejandro Garnacho. I told you yesterday in a video, you can find that, guys, if you want to know more on Ruben Amorim staying at Manchester United, on Bruno Fernandes, all the rest, so you can find a specific video from yesterday. From today, I can tell you that the clear indication I'm getting is that there is more and more concrete chance to see Alejandro Garnacho leaving leaving Manchester United this summer, because Alejandro Garnacho is also not so happy with the current situation. What he said after the final is very clear. Man United, also the quotes from Ruben Amorim after the final are really strong. In January, there were already possibilities with Chelsea, with Napoli interested in the player, then nothing happened. This summer can be different. This summer, Alejandro Garnacho can leave Manchester United with a good proposal for the player and for the club. Keep an eye on this one, because the expectation is for Alejandro Garnacho to leave Manchester United. Also, financially, could be a good deal for Manchester United, as they need to raise funds to reinvest on the market and to add more players. You know, they want to close the deal for Mateusz Cunha, they want to add one more number 10, one more striker. So Man United will be busy on the market, but without Champions League money, Champions League football money, is going to be difficult for Man United without sales. And so Alejandro Garnacho exit is something concrete, is something likely, is something we expect to happen this summer, because in case of good proposal, so let's wait for the next step, there is a strong chance to see Ale Garnacho leaving.
Managers should do every time they go into a new job.
Maybe Ruben Amorim could have done that a little more when he came in, of course. Reports suggesting that he has told the squad he will be staying. Of course, there were suggestions that he could walk without compensation. However, he will take charge of United to start a new season. But it looks like Garnacho will not be part of his plans. I suppose, Don, there's a lot of buzz around Garnacho, but where's he going to go? What's he going to do? And how much of a concern is his attitude?
Where's he going to go? He's been highly linked with Napoli, with Antonio Conte. I could see him fitting in there very well. I think he's one of these players, Garnacho, where I think you might see the best of him when he moves away from Man United. I commentated on Napoli last night, and they won the Scudetto, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 got voted MVP in Serie A, and he's a player that I'm stunned that Man United let go, because the legs that he's got. And I think Garnacho's one of those players where I think he needs a little bit of attention. I think you can see that he needs to be brought into line sometimes. But undoubtedly, there's a player in there. You've got to work with him. You've got to find the best of him. I think Amorim's put that flag in the sand very early on, and he's been quite steadfast in his system. But I think, in all honesty, I think he's threw a lot of the players under the bus at times. And I think Garnacho is one of them where he's played the majority of games in Europa League, didn't feature in the final. It was screaming out for him to come on in the final. I think he got 20 minutes in the end. I think Amorim's tactics in the final left a lot to be desired. It should have been Ugarte in midfield and Bruno Fernandes as the number 10. But I think for Garnacho, I think he's one of these guys that wears his heart on his sleeve. He says it how it is, which you can either like or you don't. But I honestly think if they do sell him, and it could be to Napoli, I think it's one of them. Keep an eye on him, because I think he's a player and I think he'll do well elsewhere. And Manchester United, of course, embroiled in the battle as to who will finish 16th and 17th in the Premier League.